Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are going to be massaging the lymphatic and the digestive system, cleansing and detoxifying your body from the inside out, giving your skin a beautiful, healthy flush and glow, giving you more energy for the remainder of the day, and feeling cleaner and almost energized from the inside out, body and mind. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify if you need to, and feel comfortable to ease your way into child pose and take a time out at any time should you need it. You ready to start? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class coming into easy sit. Situate yourself towards the middle of the mat, facing the top end. Let's lead with the left leg in front. You're going to sit up nice and tall and you're going to drop your hands palms down on the knees. We're going to start off with a little bit of Kapalbhati breathing, beautiful cleansing breath, beautiful way to just cleanse the energy channels in the body. We're going to be inhaling and exhaling exclusively through the nose. You're going to give me a soft, almost inaudible inhalation. And when you breathe in, I'd like you to breathe in only as far as the diaphragm, not down into the belly. As you exhale, you're going to envisage squeezing your diaphragm in towards the midline of the body, giving me a forceful expulsion of the air. So it's going to sound something like this. You're going to give me a rolling pattern of inhalation and exhalation, and you're going to keep that undulating movement for about 15 to 20 breath cycles, depending on your breath capacity. Then take a recovery breath, maybe 2 or 3, just gentle inhalations and exhalations, and then begin the cycle again. We're going to complete 3 rounds of Kapalbhati. Come into position, give me a nice tall spine. When you're ready, begin your breathing. When you've completed your first round, take 2 or 3 gentle recovery breaths. Center yourself and begin round 2. Make sure you give yourself a couple of recovery breaths before you begin round 3. As you take your last round of recovery breaths, gently change the cross of your lead leg. Place your hands palms down on the knees and begin tracing a big circular pattern through the pelvis. A nice gentle pelvic circle. And you can bring the movement into your shoulders, maybe dropping the shoulders away if you really tense through the shoulders. Give me a nice big inhale as you circle forward, and then exhale and squeeze the diaphragm in as you circle back. Think of a nice little coiling energy system beginning at the base of your spine, coiling all the way up through the spine, traveling all the way through your major energy centers, and exiting through the crown of your head. Come to stillness along the midline of the body and just give me a soft forward fold. Maybe just placing your fingertips on the floor and just gently folding forward from the waist. If you've got the range of motion, maybe forearms or palms on the mat. Don't force the stretch, just flop softly forward on an exhale. Inhale and gently peel up. On an exhale, softly rotate to the left, cupping opposite hand to knee and giving me a nice expulsion of the breath. Inhale and come back to center, lengthening through the spine. On an exhale, twist to the right. One more to each side. Big breath in as you come back towards the midline. Exhale to twist. As you come back towards the midline of the body, place the hands on the floor behind you. Bend the knees, connect the soles of the feet. Take it nice and wide, about mat width distance apart. Big breath in to prepare. Fill your lungs to capacity. On an exhale, drop both knees to the left as you look to the right. Inhale, come back towards the center line. Exhale, drop the knees to the opposite side. Come back towards the midline of the body. Sweep the legs underneath you. Coming into thunderbolt, knees together, feet together, sitting back. Fist your hands. Place your fisted hands on the inside of your hip bones, lengthening through the spine, pushing softly into your lower belly area. And on an exhale, gently fold forward over your fisted hands, massaging the lower belly and organs as you try to softly connect your forehead to the mat. If you find that connecting to the floor is not happening for you, maybe taking a block, placing it on the mat in front of you, and just finding a comfortable lean-in position into the block or the floor. You can give me a soft little undulating motion with the fists, if you like, to massage and wake up the digestive system. Inhale and gently peel up along the center line. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, softly twist to the left, cupping opposite hand to hip, maybe floating the other hand gently to the mat behind you, or just holding onto your bum if the floor is not accessible. Inhale and come back towards the center line. Exhale and gently take the twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, come back towards the center line. Exhale, twist to side one, maybe tucking behind your back to reach for the opposite hip with both hands, and maybe gently increasing the range of motion in that twist. Inhale to come back towards the center line. Exhale to gently twist to the other side. Inhale, find your way back to center and ease your way into a 4-point kneeling frame. On an exhale, round out your spine in cat, nodding your chin to your chest, stretching into the lower back and shoulders. Inhale to come through neutral spine, giving me a concave shape, taking your chin and your bum bones to the ceiling. Find a gentle cycle of your own, focusing for me on that nice squeeze through the diaphragm as you round out in your cat. So focusing on the Uddiyana Bandha, the little diaphragm lock, as you round out today. Last one. Ease your way into a neutral spine position. Take a big breath in and float your right arm up to the ceiling in a soft half T frame. On an exhale, thread underneath your left armpit, coming to rest on the side of your head, trying to keep your knees and your hips softly stacked, so not leaning aggressively into the mat, but rather softly engaging your inner thighs and your core to keep that stack. Inhale, come back towards the center line and repeat on the other side. Big breath in as you open up the left arm to the ceiling. On an exhale, thread underneath your right armpit. Inhale and come back towards the center line. Float your right arm up to the ceiling. As you thread, float the left arm up, both arms extended, reaching with both sets of fingertips for the ceiling and the wall respectively. Inhale and find your way back to the center line. Big breath in, float the left arm up to the ceiling. On an exhale, thread underneath your armpit. As you connect to the floor, softly float the right arm up to the ceiling. Keep the belly button softly pulled into center so that you're getting that massage through the lower belly. Find your way back to center. One more iteration. Big breath in, float the right arm up. As you thread through underneath the left, float the left arm up to the ceiling and then sweep it behind your back, rotating the palm in to reach hold for the opposite hip. If you can, float the top arm off and cup the thigh or the bum and gently increase that twist. Keep the belly button softly pulled in and try not to lean all the weight into your head. Keep your core engaged, keep your inner thighs switched on to hold your body weight. Ease your way back to 4-point kneeling. Take a big breath in to prepare. Float the left arm up to the ceiling. On an exhale, thread underneath the right armpit. Float the right arm up, tuck behind to wrap around the opposite hip, and then maybe cup the opposite bottom hand towards your hip or your bum line. Ease your way from here back to 4-point kneeling. Float your big toes together, open up the knees softly and push back into a soft extended child frame. Arms are long and lengthened in front of you. Try to connect your forehead softly to the mat. Maybe creep or walk the weight of your hands back, trying to drop your bum as close to your heels as you can. Lower belly, getting a little bit of compression here as you push back. Take a soft little extended stretch here. Come out of child pose, balasana, and ease your way gently into a 4-point kneeling frame. We're going to ease our way into down dog. Tuck your toes under, pike your bum softly up towards the ceiling. And if you're really tight along the back chain of the legs, just give me a soft pedaling motion. Gently easing into the stretch. Giving yourself a slight inversion. Drop the crown of your head down to the floor and hold your down dog for a few breaths. Try to make the heels of your feet nice and heavy to the floor. Start feeling that stretch along the back chain of the body. We're going to ease our way from here into a wide-legged standing straddle. So you're going to change your orientation on the mat. You're going to soften one knee, swing it through between the hands, and then pivot on the mat so that you're facing sideways. Legs are open nice and wide as you can comfortably manage. Try not to splay the feet out. Try to give me a nice parallel line and make sure that you've wrapped from the big toe around the little toe and around the outer quadrant of your foot towards the heel. So the whole foot is firmly planted on the mat. See if you can place your hands, palms down on the mat. You could use 1 or 2 blocks underneath the hands if you need to. And you're just going to start for me by gently rocking your body weight back and forth, finding that inner thigh connection. Then take a big breath in and cross the right hand over the left and take a gentle twist, floating the left arm up to the ceiling. Cross over, taking a nice wide stance, and repeat that gentle twist to the other side. Keeping that weight bearing equal on the feet. Come back to your first twist, crossing the arms as you do so. Sweep the arm behind you, reach for the opposite hip. You use it to find a nice holding spot so that you can really open up through that top shoulder. Let's repeat that twist on the other side, crossing the arms. As you come into the twist, sweep the arm behind you, reach for the opposite hip, open up that top shoulder, keep the weight bearing equal on the feet, keep pulling in the lower belly area. One last time. As you sweep the arm behind you, reaching for the opposite hip, find your balance, firmly planted through the feet. See if you can bring the bottom arm off the floor, reaching for the opposite hip. Inner thigh switched on, core switched on, holding your balance here. Ease your way back, take the twist to the opposite side. Big breath in, sweep the arm behind you, reaching for the opposite hip. Once you've found your grounding into the mat, lift the bottom arm off the mat and take a gentle twist, holding opposite hand to hip and gently peeping up towards the ceiling. From here, you're going to rotate on the mat and be coming into a rotated side angle. Tuck the back foot in, or you can keep it planted into the mat at 45. You're going to place your right hand underneath your right shoulder, rotate, and float the left arm up to the ceiling. Either stay here, low to the mat, in your rotated side angle, or you're going to morph into a twisted half moon. The right hand that's currently planted on the floor, creep it slightly in front of you, push the weight off your back toe, use your foot to find your balance if you need to, and gently come into the standing balance, floating the right leg up behind you and holding a soft T-frame through the arms. Find your way back to Prasarita and walk your way into a rotated side angle on the other side. Gently throwing up your right arm towards the ceiling. Feel that compression through the lower belly area, either staying low to the mat or finding your twisted half moon. Creep your left hand forward, launch the weight off the back leg into the front leg, gently kicking up into an almost tabletop line. Ease your way from here into a soft forward fold towards the top end of the mat. If you can't easily reach the floor, maybe using a block underneath the hands or bracing your arms on your shins or the tops of your thighs. Hold your soft forward fold, Uttanasana. Heel toe your feet in, connecting the big toes and the ankles, and softly ragdoll style roll up along the midline of the body to find your way into a narrow mountain with your hands in prayer in front of your heart. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, you're going to sit back into a chair, Utkatasana, pushing the weight into your bum and your heels, and then you're going to rotate off center to the left, opposite elbow to knee, pushing and resisting against that knee, or floating into a soft T-frame, bottom hand to the floor, top hand to the ceiling. If you're feeling the knees, you can open up your feet a little bit wider, maybe hip-width distance apart. Find your way back to prayer. Come up along the center line, maybe floating your hands temporarily overhead, getting a nice little stretch in the lower belly area. And then find your narrow mountain with your hands in prayer in front of your heart. Big breath in. On an exhale, sit back into your chair, Utkatasana. Rotate to the right, opposite elbow to knee, finding your little plant here and staying here, or opening up the arms into a beautiful T-frame. Hold that soft twist. Ease your way from here into a soft little forward fold. Step back into the down dog frame. Taking a nice little stretch here. Holding the inversion for at least 20 seconds if you can. Allowing the crown to become heavy to the floor, piking your bum up to the ceiling. Feeling that stretch along the front and the back chain of the body. We're going to ease our way into a three-legged dog on the right. Soften the right knee and kick up the right leg behind you. At first, keeping your hips and your shoulders nice and squared. Stay or move into an arching dog by bending the right knee, pointing the toes up to the ceiling, opening up the knee to the right as you drop the foot to the left, and gently arcing through the body as you look over the left shoulder for that foot. Ease your way from here into a soft kneeling frame, preferably knees together, feet together, sitting back on the heels, sitting up nice and tall, both hands gently braced on your thighs, and just lengthen through the spine. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, softly rotate to one side, cupping opposite hand to hip. Inhale, bring it back to the center line. Exhale, take your twist in the opposite direction. Let's do one more to each side. This time, maybe bending through both elbows, reaching opposite hand to hip, and really dropping that back shoulder away as you come into your little twist. Inhale, come back to the center line, and exhale to repeat your twist to the opposite side. Keep lengthening through the spine, keep gripping opposite hand to hip. Inhale, and come back to the center line. Drop your bum just off center to the right. You could use your block as a pillow if you need to, or a little seat if dropping all the way off the heels onto the bum feels really uncomfortable for you. And you're going to float both hands to the left. You're going to grab the shin with your left hand, and you're just going to cup your hip opposite hand to hip and look over that left shoulder. Then keep the grip of the shin with your left hand and float the right arm behind your back, reaching with your fingertips for the bicep of the back arm. Rotate your head in the opposite direction to look over the right shoulder. Hold that soft twist, Vajrasana 1. Unbind the hands behind you, coming back to the center line. You're going to find your little fisted frog, placing your fists on the inside of your hip bones, gently pushing with your fists, with the knuckles of your fists into your lower belly as you fold forward, wrapping around the fist to massage your lower belly area with the fists. Either keeping your fists still or giving me a soft undulating motion through the fist. Inhale and gently peel up along the center line. Exhale to drop off center to the left. Connect your bum bones to the mat or your block. Float both hands to the right, reaching for your shin with the right hand and cupping the left hand around your right hip bone to just lengthen through the spine. Keep looking over that right shoulder. Then swim or float the right arm behind your back, bending the elbow behind your back and reaching with your fingertips for the bicep of the right arm. When you're in position, lengthen through the spine, take a big breath in, and on an exhale, gently peep over the left shoulder. Give me as much length through the spine as you can comfortably manage. Ease your way back to the center line. Place your little fisted hands on the inside of your hip bones. Big breath in. On an exhale, softly fold forward, trying to connect your forehead to the mat as you find your little modified Bekasana. Gently peel up along the center line and find your way back into a down dog frame. Use it as recovery, but at the same time, giving your body a nice little inversion. Great to help the detoxifying and the cleansing process. Hold your down dog for at least 10 to 15 seconds. Enjoying that inversion of blood and taking an awesome stretch up the front and the back chain of the body. We're going to come back into Prasarita, that wide-legged standing straddle. You're going to soften one leg, step it through, rotate, open up the legs a little bit wider this time. The inner thighs should be slightly warmer. Place your hands, palms down on the mat. Rock your body weight back and forth. And then find your midway point, comfortably balanced between the balls and the heels of your feet. Cross the right arm over the left. And take a gentle twist, sweeping or arcing the left arm up to the ceiling. Then in one arcing motion, repeat the twists to the other side, crossing the arms over the midline of the body to come into the twist. Keep playing with that crossover motion, and every time you come back into the first twist, add on. The second time, sweeping the back arm behind you, reaching for the opposite hip. Cross over, repeating on the opposite side, tucking that arm behind your back, reaching for the opposite hip bone. On the last one, we're going to try no hands. So as you come into position, try to bring the bottom arm off the mat. Use your inner thighs and your core to hold your pose. One last twist to the right. As you sweep that arm behind your back, float the bottom arm off the floor, find your grip position on the opposite hip. We're going to come into our rotated side angle from here. You're going to step or walk your way to the left, tucking the back toe under, planting your right hand underneath your right shoulder as you softly float the left arm up to the ceiling. Stay here in your low rotated side angle or morph into your twisted half moon by creeping your left fingertips forward if you need to. Launch the weight off your back foot and softly open up the arms into a T frame as you lift the right leg behind you in a tabletop line. Ease your way back through Prasarita. Walk your way to the right. Find your low rotated side angle. Stay or play, morphing into your twisted half moon. Holding for at least 10 seconds if you can. And then from here, you're going to release into a soft forward fold, facing towards the top end of the mat, and just give yourself a little time out. Maybe bending and extending through the legs if you're really tight. Using a block if you need to. Or taking your stance a little higher up the chain of the legs. Soften through the knees. And as you do so, heel serve the feet in. Find your way into a narrow mountain with your hands in prayer in front of the heart. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, sit yourself in Utkatasana. Rotate to the left, opposite elbow to knee, hands in prayer, or open up into a beautiful, soft T-like frame. Ease your way back up along the center line, maybe piercing the sky with your fingertips and stretching into the lower belly. Exhaling to take your seat one more time. Inhale to prepare. On an exhale, take the rotation to the right, tucking elbow on the outside of the knee, and maybe opening up into that beautiful soft T-frame. Ease your way back into a gentle forward fold. Step back into a down dog, piking your bum up to the ceiling. Holding the stretch here for a bit, feeling that beautiful inversion of the blood. Let's play with a three-legged dog on the left. Soften the left knee, kick up the left leg behind you, but first keep your shoulders and your hips nice and stacked. Hold that stretch. Stay or arch your dog. Bend your right knee, point the toe up to the ceiling, left knee, not right. Open up to the right, arch your dog, you're looking over the right shoulder for that left foot. Stretching beautifully into the lower belly area. Ease your way into a soft kneeling frame from here. Knees together, feet together in a thunderbolt-like position. Sit up nice and tall, placing the hands on the top of your thighs and just lengthening through the spine and stretching into the lower belly area. Make space for those organs that aid digestion. Take a big breath in and just give me a gentle twist to the left. Cupping opposite hand to hip. Inhale, come back. Exhale, take it gently to the other side. We're going to do one more to each side. We're going to try and increase that twist, maybe bending through the forearms, reaching for the opposite hip bone and really pushing that back shoulder away and trying to increase your twist. Ease your way back to the center line and take your twist to side two. Ease your way back to the center line. Drop the weight off your right bum bone, connecting it to the mat, sitting up Baddha Vajrasana. Hold the left hand to your hip. Left hand to shin, right hand to hip. Keep the shin grip and float the right arm behind your back, reaching with the fingertips for the bicep of that left arm. Then float your head in the opposite direction and hold that little Baddha Vajrasana twist, thinking length through the spine. Unbind, ease your way back to the center line. Fist your hands, place your fists on the inside of your hip, pushing into the lower belly area as you fold forward, trying to connect your forehead to the mat, and hold for at least 10 to 20 gentle breath cycles. Feeling that beautiful massage into the lower belly area, maybe placing a block underneath your head if you need to. Ease your way back up along the center line. Drop the weight off your left bum bone, binding right hand to shin. Float the left arm over to cup opposite hip. Lengthen through your spine. Keep the grip of your right shin and float the left arm behind your back, bending through the elbow and reaching for the bicep of the right arm. Keep your bind and float your head gently to the left, peeking over the left shoulder as if somebody was standing behind you and you were trying to get a glance at who it is. Ease your way gently back to the center line and give me one more little fisted frog. Folding over those fists, softly connecting your forehead to the mat and taking a little time out. Gently peel up along the center line. Drop your bum just off center on one side and ease your way into a seated frame, more or less in the middle of your mat, with your knees bent and the soles of your feet connected to the floor. Reach underneath your right calf for the left shin, grab the leg, tuck it underneath, and then cross the right foot over the left knee. Wiggle your left foot out the way so that both of your bum bones are grounded into the mat, and reach with your fingertips for the toes, knife edging both feet, and then softly wrapping the feet around your hip as you nod your chin softly towards your lead knee. Getting a slight bit of contraction in the lower belly area. Peel up along the center line and firmly plant your front foot into the mat. We're going to come into a gentle twist. You're going to cup opposite elbow to knee, hugging that knee in towards your chest and placing the other arm softly on the mat behind you. Try to keep your whole front foot firmly planted into the mat as you come into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes. Come back towards the center line, knife edge both feet again, wrap around your toes, hug the soles of your feet in towards your hips and fold forward one more time, thinking nose to knee. Peel up along the center line, firmly plant your right foot into the mat, coming back into half Lord of the Fishes, opposite elbow to knee, make a little stop sign. Or drop the fingertips down, keep pushing with the back of your elbow against that knee. Give me a little bit of an oppositional stretch. And then as you unbind, extend the right leg out in front of you, placing the sole of the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, fold forward, thinking nose to knee. If you need to, you can use a strap or a hand towel, or you could even take the block and place it on the inside of the knee, finding a comfortable lean position for yourself. Hold that stretch, getting a nice little bit of compression into the lower belly, beautiful stretch and a release into the lower back, stretching the arms and the legs in your modified Janushirasana. Peel up along the center line, bend the knees, connect the soles of both feet. Reach your left hand underneath the left calf, reaching for the right shin. Tuck the foot underneath you and cross the left foot over the right knee. Wiggle the right foot out the way. Make space for your bum bones on the mat. Knife edge both feet. Reach for the toes. Hug them in towards your hip line as you fold forward. Peel up along the center line. Firmly plant your left foot into the mat as you cross opposite elbow to knee, hugging that leg in and taking a gentle twist, bracing the fingertips of the back hand to the floor behind you. Inhale and peel back towards the center line, knife edging your feet, reaching for the big toes, almost then wrapping them around your hips as you gently fold forward. Inhale, peel back up along the center line, firmly plant your front foot into the mat, opposite elbow to knee, making a little stop sign as you come into half lord of the fishes, or extend that arm, reaching for the corner of the mat as you come into the twist. We're going to ease our way into Janusasana from here, head to knee. As you unbind, extend the left leg out in front of you, keeping the right leg bent and placing the sole of the foot on the inseam of the left leg. Big breath in. On an exhale, fold forward, use your strap, use your hand towel, use your block if you need to. Hold your little stretch. Give yourself at least 10 to 15 seconds here. As you unbind, ease your way into a 4-point kneeling frame. We're coming down onto the belly. Set up a gentle plank line, or you could execute from 4-point kneeling if you prefer. We're going to chaturanga down. Bend through the elbows, hugging them in towards your ribs, making your way down onto the belly. As you relax to the belly, release the feet, soften, relaxed in parallel. Sweep the arms alongside the body, back of the hands connected to the mat, and your forehead gently connected to the mat. We're going to come straight into a full locust line. Pretend that you've got a little marble underneath your nose. Roll the marble away using your nose and start peeling up through the ribs. At the same time, float the legs and the arms off the mat and come into a little balance on the hip bones with your bottom ribs still connected to the mat. Salambasana, locust, hold, extending through the toes, the fingertips, the crown of your head, feeling the lower belly and the hips digging into the mat. Gently peel back down to your start position, either rinsing and repeating or fisting your hands, tucking the fists underneath your bum, but make sure that the knuckles of your fists are looking down towards your perineum. You can flatten out the hand instead of keeping it round if it feels really uncomfortable. You're going to come back into your lizard line. Connect your forehead to the mat. Roll your marble away. Start peeling off one rib at a time. Come into your balancing lizard. And feel those little fists really massaging the whole lower viscera. Drop the shoulders away from your ears. Try to hold for at least 10 seconds if you can. If this feels too uncomfortable, come back into the first locust line that we played with. Soften the legs. Peel back down through the trunk. Feed the fists out from underneath you. Bend the elbows. Place the palms alongside your bosom. Tuck your toes under. Think of pushing back into child and marrying it with a puppy pose. So you're trying to drop your bum towards your heels, but not quite get there. You've got the arms long and extended. You're dropping the chin and the chest to the floor and you're looking off the front of the mat. Then claw through your fingertips, coming into a little spider arm. Cross the right foot in front of the left as you hop forward and ease your way into Sukhasana, easy sit. Back where we began. Sit up nice and tall. Take a big breath in. Float your hands overhead. And on an exhale, softly fold forward to try to connect your fingertips, your palms, or your forearms to the mat. Or reach for a block. And maybe find a comfortable lean position. Softly fold forward. If you've connected the forearms, push off the forearms and sink the weight of your hips back so that you can feel that activation through the front leg and the lower belly area. Inhale and peel up. On an exhale, rotate to the right. Cupping opposite hand to knee and giving me a nice expulsion of the breath. Inhale and come back towards the center line. Exhale to repeat to the other side. Big breath in, fold forward one more time. Every time you fold forward, try to drop lower and closer to the floor. Peel back up along the center line, either keeping your easy sit or tucking into the half lotus line by taking your front foot and tucking the heel of that foot as close to the inside of the hip bone as you can, resting the back of the foot on the top of the opposite thigh. Sit up nice and tall and start with your chin line parallel to the floor. You're going to nod yes, nod no, and then use your nose to trace a little circular pattern clockwise and anti-clockwise. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, twist to the left, opposite hand to knee. Grip with your hand, resist with the knee. Inhale, come back to the center line and repeat to the other side. Big breath in, come back to the center, float your hands overhead, and on an exhale, softly fold forward. We're coming into a modified boat line from here. As you peel up along the center line, give me a big toe lock using your middle index finger and thumb on both legs, and try to open up into a soft V boat, holding onto the big toes of both legs, or maybe just coming into a modified table boat, bracing the hands behind your thighs. See if you can float the 2 feet together along the midline of the body. Pause here, taking a nice little stretch. And then you're going to come into a forward fold. Before you do, interlace the hands, invert them, come down with control through your inner thighs and your core, and try to hook your hands over the feet as you come into your Paschimottanasana. If this is not possible for you, maybe using a block or a strap and reaching around the feet, pulling the feet in as you come into the forward fold, or opening up the legs slightly, placing the block between the legs and finding a comfortable lean-in position. You could bring the block even closer if you need to. Play with it, see what works for you today. Gently peel up along the center line. Shake the legs out. We're going to repeat on the other side. Tuck into easy sit, this time leading with the left leg in front. Big breath in. On an exhale, gently fold forward. Push off the forearms, sink your hips back. Keep your belly button softly pulled into center. Inhale to peel back up. On an exhale, rotate to the left, opposite hand to knee. Nice little audible exhale. Inhale, come back to the center line. Take it to the other side. Big breath in, float your hands overhead and softly fold forward. Inhale, peel back up along the center line, tucking into the half lotus line if you can. Big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, twist softly off center to one side. Cupping opposite hand to knee. Inhale, come back. Take it to the other side. Inhale, find your way back to center and gently fold forward. Peel up along the center line, bracing the hands softly on both knees, square up through the chin. Nod yes. Nod no. And then use your nose to trace a little circle around a golf ball, moving clockwise and then anti-clockwise. Find your way into your boat line of choice from here, preferably a little Padangusthasana Lock around each big toe, tip the weight off your tailbone, lengthen through the inner thighs and the spine as you find your soft V frame, trying to keep that hold on the toes. Then bring the legs together along the midline of the body, trying to touch along the center line if you can. You're going to come into Paschimottanasana, your seated forward fold from here, interlacing the hands, inverting them, coming down to the floor with control through the inner thighs and the core, hook over the feet, come into the forward fold, or use your strap or your block, butterflying if you need to. Try to hold for at least 15 to 20 seconds if you need to. And if you're really tight, you can bend the alternate knee and wriggle or relax into the stretch. Softly peel up along the center line. Float your hands to prayer in front of your heart and end off your practice by taking a small little bow. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's class. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Shoot me your comments and your feedback below the display window. And remember to subscribe with your notification bell on. I shall see you all for Pilates conditioning on the mat tomorrow. Till then, keep it light.